Hey guys, welcome back to Newbreed Film Reviews. This is episode 68. My name is Dave, and I'm going to be doing a solo review on the movie Creed. Came out this year, I believe Thanksgiving. Just checked it out, and I would like to talk about it and review it. I'm going to do a no spoiler review first, very vague, and then I'm going to just get into the nitty gritty and just talk about the movie, likes and dislikes. So here we go. So like I said, Creed came out 2015 this year. It's directed by Ryan Coogler. It's basically the first Rocky entry. It's not really a Rocky film, but it is like a spin-off. So it's the first Rocky related film not written by Sylvester Stallone or directed, which is kind of interesting. Stallone kind of passed the torch on that one. I'm right off the bat, I'm just going to grade it. I'm going to give Creed a C+. I think C+ is like middle of the road. It's a fair grade. I didn't think it was anything amazing. It wasn't like a special boxing movie. It wasn't bad either. It just was like something to pass the time. It was a okay movie. Now, if you guys want to see a really good boxing movie, I think probably the greatest boxing movie of all time, I would recommend Raging Bull with Robert De Niro, directed by Martin Scorsese. I would also recommend The Hurricane with Denzel is pretty good. Cinderella Man with Russell Crowe is pretty good. The Fighter with Mark Wahlberg is a great movie based on Mickey Ward's career. All those movies are excellent, and some of them are actually like special, like Raging Bull is like absolutely just an all-time classic to me. Amazing performance by Robert De Niro. Martin Scorsese, legendary director. If I had to recommend one, I would say watch Raging Bull. Oh, and of course, Rocky 1 and 2. How could I forget? The first two Rockies are like masterpiece films. Amazing boxing films. All of those vastly superior to Creed. So, now I'm going to kind of get into, the nitty gritty of the film. Just talk about it in general. It's going to be the spoiler section. If you guys want to come for the ride and keep listening, the movie's basically going to be ruined for you. So I'm giving you fair warning. In about 5 seconds, I'm just going to talk about the movie in general. So here we go. We're in the spoiler section. So first I'm going to talk about my dislikes. The first dislike, I didn't like, the new age style graphics, and the sped up shots. Like there were some shots that were just like fast forwarded, just like sped up. I didn't care for those. I didn't like the graphics that like popped up on screen. Basically throughout the film there was like fighter stats that just like popped up like if it was a video game. It's not a video game. It's a boxing drama. And I felt like every time these graphics popped up on screen, they were very distracting, and they didn't go with the movie. It was very odd. But, you know, that's what filmmakers try to do these days. They try to be like innovative and, you know, try different things. But sometimes for some movies, you need to just stick to like classic filmmaking, you know, classic shots, keep it old school. You know, it's a regular acting boxing drama. There's no need to have like graphics and effects like pop up on screen. Like I said, it was like distracting to me. Another dislike was basically like the overall story, like the premise. I predicted every aspect of this movie without even seeing it. I talked about it on previous podcasts. I nailed it to a T, and it was really disappointing. It was like just lazy writing, very predictable writing. You know, it's the typical troubled kid, has talent, needs guidance, finds a coach, you know, to train him, Rocky Balboa. Rocky's reluctant, finally caves in, trains him. There's a big fight up ahead, training montages, big fight. He looks like he's going to lose, overcomes the odds, happy ending. You know, that was the typical, and Rocky being older and having like illnesses and stuff. I predicted all this. I called this movie to a T, and it was extremely disappointing. Like I said, it was just like predictable writing, which sucked for me. It kind of ruined some of the movie for me. I also didn't care for the hip hop vibe to it, like the trendy music, the gangster rap, and the, like I said, the hip hoppy vibe. I'm a New Yorker. I grew up with rap music, with hip hop. I am a fan to some extent of like old school rap and hip hop. Not the crap that's out today is just absolutely freaking terrible. But, rock is more my music, alternative rock, 90s grunge. I still listen to that today. That whole, 90s grunge scene. But I do like rap, like good rap. But I just don't feel like for a Rocky universe type movie, like the movies are like such classics, like, and I understand what they were trying to do. They're trying to make it more mainstream and like urban and stuff for the younger generation. But it didn't do it for me. I felt like it took something away, and I didn't care for it at all. Another dislike, there was a particular scene in the movie where, Apollo Creed's son, is running in like sweats, and it like mimics the iconic scenes of like Rocky running in the streets, you know, with a whole crowd of people following him. And that scene gave you chills up your spine. It was an amazing scene, so iconic. And in this movie, it was like I was watching a DMX Rough Rider video. Like there was like four-wheelers around him, dirt bikes, and it was just ridiculous. Like it was so stupid to me, and just a cheap copy of such an iconic scene that I could have just did without that. It was so silly to me. It did nothing for me at all. Another gripe, the makeup effects. At one point in the movie, Adonis Creed is having this epic battle with the big opponent, and he gets his eye jacked up. It's all swollen, and whoever did the makeup, it looked terrible. It looked like so fake, and like his eye was completely swollen shut. I believe it was like his left eye, and it just looked, I can't even describe it. It was just like, it looked so overdone and just not done well at all. It was just like kind of comical looking. It looked like cartoony, like his swollen eye. Like it was just ridiculous. But so anyway, those are my gripes on the film. I think Michael B. Jordan did a good job. I didn't think it was anything special or like amazing or excellent, but I think he did a good job. The person who stole the show to me was Sylvester Stallone. Stallone completely stole the show as Rocky Balboa. There's talk of like an Oscar for him, and I think it's well deserved. He's a great actor. Yes, his niche is action movies, and he's mostly done those. But if you watch like Copland, that's a straight acting movie. He did an awesome job in that. The first Rambo, that last scene in the first Rambo movie, powerful. You cannot tell me that man can't act. He can act, you know. And it was just great to see him do such a great job. He played the character well. He played on the character's age well. I really do hope he's nominated for an Oscar. He just did a great job. Another like of the film, it was cool to see, Apollo's wife, that actress, not sure what her name is. It doesn't come to mind, but she's been in like a lot of films and TV, and it was kind of cool to see her on screen. Stallone, he looked healthy. He looked good. It was good to see Stallone looking healthy. I enjoyed it probably like a tad more because I'm such a huge Rocky fan. I'm a huge fan of the franchise. Another awesome thing was it was awesome to see Mickey's gym in the movie. That was a great nod to the originals. Another great thing is they played up on Balboa's like age and old school ways. There's basically like, he's kind of like a dinosaur, but it's like funny. Like in this day and age, we have, these fancy cell phones and Wi-Fi and all these crazy gadgets. And there's a couple of scenes where they just play up on that Stallone, like, you know, Balboa's still old school. And it was just funny, like couple of funny scenes with that, and I think that was great. Seeing Paulie's grave and Adrian's grave was very interesting. It was cool and nostalgic. The character Paulie's played by Burt Young. I believe he's still alive. I don't know why he wasn't in this film. I forgot. I think maybe they killed him off in the last Rocky film, Rocky Balboa. So that may be like a valid reason not to have him in this movie. But, yeah, it was just crazy seeing their graves because, like, you follow these characters throughout the years and they become real to you, you know, to some extent. And, you know, you just watch their lives on screen and then, like, you watch the end of their life, you know, like, they're gone. And it's like, I know they're like fake, but, you know, when you grow up with characters, they're almost real to you. And it was just a very cool, touching, nostalgic scene, having Rocky Balboa sit by his wife's grave and Paulie's grave and just like talk to them. It was sad and beautiful seeing Rocky Balboa old and slow down. When you think about Stallone in his prime and Rocky Balboa, the character in his prime, he was such a beast and like larger than life and immortal on screen. And now you see him like old and like broken down. And he dealt with some issues in the film. You know, he was battling cancer and he wanted to give up. And that's not like the character. The character's a fighter. So it was a cool kind of play on that where they had Adonis, basically talk Rocky into fighting. And he gave him the will to fight again because like Adrian died of cancer and, you know, Rocky, he just felt no need to be here on this earth anymore. He was just like throwing in the towel, just like accepting like death. And that's like not the character. He's a fighter, you know, this is not like an opponent with boxing gloves. It's a different kind of fight. And it was very touching. It was very well done, that whole aspect of the film. What else I liked? I loved all the nods to the original films. For example, chasing the chicken to get speed in your legs. The comments about like women weaken legs, like what Mickey used to say. There was like a lot of nods to the original Rocky films, and I thought it was like excellent and well done. Loved it. I'm a huge fan, so I appreciated that. Another good thing about the film is the boxing action. It reminded me a lot of like Rocky IV, as far as like the way they took the hits and their heads snapped back and the body movements. And I really think they probably did that on purpose. So it was like really reminiscent of like Rocky IV. So you really felt like you were watching a Rocky film or a story in the Rocky universe. So like kudos to them. That was great. So yeah, that kind of wraps up, my review on Creed. I apologize if I sound a little winded. I have asthma and I'm just getting over the flu. So you know, talking a lot, it kind of makes me a little wheezy, and I was like holding back coughing for you guys. But yep, that's my review for Creed. Like I said, I give it a C+. I didn't think it was a bad movie. I wouldn't own it. I wouldn't recommend it for somebody to go see it in the theater. To me, if anything, it's like a Netflix movie. And yeah, it wasn't bad, but again, it wasn't special. And it got really good ratings on Rotten Tomatoes and a lot of the review sites and critics. But I don't know. It's just my opinion, you know. I thought it was a okay boxing movie. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review. I hope it steered you in the right direction, whether to see it or not. Thank you for listening to the podcast, for the plays, for the subscriptions. We really appreciate it. Any feedback, you can communicate with us on our Facebook page. We have a Twitter page. You can email us at newbreedfilmreviews2014@gmail. And that's it, guys. Take care, and we'll catch you back with the next episode.